Hello and welcome back to my channel with a new video. This is Nora and that's my cat Sushi. I did poll a few days ago and a lot of people of course want to know about the situation in Lebanon and how people are handling it still. So I decided to make this video. I want to talk about today about the cold wave in Lebanon. So the cold wave happened last month. I was there for a bit of it, and unfortunately, most Lebanese weren't prepared for it, and I would say like 80% were not prepared for that much cold. Usually, Lebanon is not a place where it's not the country where it gets too cold. It's not the weather is not too extreme there. Usually in winter, it's about like 10 degrees minimum, like 9-10 degrees minimum. So 10 degrees Celsius means like 50 Fahrenheit almost. So that's not too bad, right? But this time it went down to even 3-4 Celsius, I heard. That's in the city we're talking. That's next to the sea. If we're talking the mountains, it got way lower than that, to like -5 or something, if not less than this. And a lot of people in this crisis were not prepared for such cold. Of course, because there's no money. There's no money to buy anything. Usually people warm up with some food. There's no money even enough to like warm yourself up with a lot of food. Like everyone knows, no power. No power means no heaters, means you're not gonna be warm. And of course, it's gonna be freaking cold. Imagine if you're in the winter without a heater and it gets around like 6-7 degrees Celsius, so that's like 40 Fahrenheit. So imagine it gets to that point and you don't have a heater. Imagine in the mountains it's even worse, like in the 20s and 10s Fahrenheit, and you don't have a heater. Imagine you're sitting at home with no heaters. I remember there was no power in Texas for a few days last year. There was no heaters in a cold wave because Texas was not prepared. I think it was dumb, like how the government just let that happen, and a lot of people actually died because of this crisis, and that was just a few days. Imagine spending your whole winter without heaters, without power. Even you can't even warm yourself up with the light bulb. Complete dark, and also in the winter it gets dark very early, so we're talking like 4 or 5ish, no power. So you spend the whole evening from 5:30 till 6 in the morning without any light, and in the cold and in the darkness. Imagine living this way. And of course the government is not doing anything. Like they're just telling people to hold on and just warm yourself with blankets and sheets and stuff like that. And I remember when I was in Lebanon 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I was warming myself with a lot of blankets at night. When unfortunately the apartments in Lebanon do not pack heat. I don't know how they're made. At least our apartment, it gets so cold in the winter. It's even colder inside than outside. So if you're talking, it's like 10 degrees Celsius outside, it's gonna be like feeling like 7 inside. It's so cold inside. Sometimes I would go inside, be very cold, and then would get outside. I'm like, actually it's not that bad. So at night what we used to do, my mom would put like 3 blankets on top of each other and we would sleep. That's how we would sleep. Unless you have some kind of like other ways to have power, and that's gonna cost so much money. Like I said, the solar power, that's, like I said in the previous videos, if you didn't watch it, it's gonna cost 4+ thousands of dollars. Who has $4,000? No one has that. In Lebanon, at least, unless you're like rich there or something, but like more than 50% of the people don't have $4,000. And even if they had, all the money are in the banks, and banks don't want you to have the money. You can't even get access to it. Even all your life savings that you had, they're in the bank. You can't access it. It's impossible. Barely they give you a bit of money, maybe droplets of that. It's the biggest scam going on with banks. Banks are stealing people's money, their life savings, and this is the time they need it the most. Imagine you have your money in the bank, and one day the bank tells you, I'm sorry, you can't get your money anymore. You're broke. Bad luck. I mean, imagine that happened to you. All your life savings, all your life. That happened with my dad. My dad unfortunately passed away, and they took all his money. He couldn't even access it before he passed away. Even us, the dollars, we can't even put our hands on it. And it was quite a bit of money. Imagine a life saving of an old man. I mean, all what he did in his life in this bank. I don't want to scare people, like, don't put your money in banks, but at the same time, like, just be aware of it. And I don't know if like that would happen anywhere else, but that happened in Lebanon. I'm giving you an example of what happened in Lebanon. So people can get solar power if they don't have money. People, even you have other ways to get power, and it's also very expensive. You have to pay at least 2 million lira a month to have some other way to get power. It's like a subscription thing, and even that, you don't get the whole day. You get basically half a day with that. We used to get half a day with that. So we subscribed the last 2 months because we couldn't anymore, and I had work. It was quite a lot of money. It was quite too much. But if someone doesn't have 2 million lira, and I'm telling you, a lot of people a month can't even earn 1 million. Maybe 2 million max, between 1 million and 2 million. Imagine you're just spending on half a day of power a day. 2 million lira. You don't even spend on food, on other stuff, and just to have basic need, be power. You're basically not gonna have a heater in winter. That's up for a lot of Lebanese right now. So a lot of the times how we would stay warm, we used to get some gas. We had a little heater. I mean, that one didn't do much, but at least it heated us a bit. You basically go to a place with your tank, or someone will come and get it for you, but we used to go to a place with our big tank, and we used to fill it up there. I'm gonna show you a clip. I filmed a clip of it when we went to fill it up. Someone helped us there. So yeah, here's the clip. Well, as you see, it was a tank. There was a lot of tanks. A lot of Lebanese people are relying on that right now, and even that is quite expensive. And that's a lot for a bit of gas. It wasn't that much, of course, before. Everything skyrocketed. And if you don't know, Lebanon is one of the most expensive cities right now. For how much people are earning, I heard it's even more expensive than New York. If you live there, you can't really afford anything. At least if you live in New York, you can earn some kind of money somehow and still pay some rent and some food. But in there, even like basic needs, you have to put all what you earned that month on that. Either it's power or it's food or it's anything. You pick one each month because you can't pay for the whole package. That's unless you're like, you have some kind of money on you. In Lebanon, I spent a good 5 months without really power. And from what I heard from our neighbors, now we talked to a neighbor yesterday. She told us that the power is just only there. The government power is only available for like 2 hours a day. In our neighborhood, at least. It differs from neighborhood to neighborhood. Some people are getting more, some people less, some people not at all. But for us, we're just getting it seems, for 2 hours a day. هيدا الغاز العادة أنا عم بشتغل طلعت الكهرباء. هاي
كده ما عم بعرف طلع على رقمة سيسي
Susie. That's the only heat source that we get. Imagine you just have 2 hours a day of power. Imagine what you need to charge your phones, your computer. And when you don't have power, at least for me, because I didn't have internet on my phone, means, what does it mean? I had to rely on the Wi-Fi of our home. So I only got internet when we had power. We had a little thing that charged for the time, but it wasn't even enough time for it to charge enough. So maybe we'd get Wi-Fi for like an hour or something like that. People there have no... I always hear the train behind me and think it's something else. I think like most Lebanese can relate to that. I didn't live through the big explosion, but I lived enough in there with the war of 2006 and a lot of explosions throughout the years in Lebanon. Every time I hear the train, it feels like an explosion to me. I remember the first time I heard the train next to us, I literally thought there was an explosion and I kind of freaked out. And I looked around me. So every time I hear it, it's like I get like a bit weirded out. But then I'm like, oh, it's just the train. Sorry about that. So that's the update on the situation there. I just want to update you on like general how people are living there with the cold wave and how it is, at least how it was for me. And from what I'm hearing from other people there right now, I still talk to people there. I am updated daily to what's going on there. And there was a time that was 2-3 weeks ago, the internet company was telling people that there might not be internet in a few days. Thank God that didn't happen. It was that close on happening. Imagine you have no access to internet at all. And I got freaked out because I know I have family there, I have people that I care about there, and like me imagining I couldn't even connect and talk to them really freaked me out. Of course, for them, it's even scarier because you're like stuck in this place, and every family now has people abroad. Maybe they have sons, daughters, siblings, parents there, and they can't even talk to them. So it's kind of scary to not have internet. And even when I talk to people there, I'm always the connection is always stopping. Like for every minute there's like a minute or two that is not connecting right. I couldn't hear them. It's a mess talking to someone there basically. So yeah, that's everything for now. I don't want to go into details that much. And please share and subscribe. That will help the channel grow more. And I want to reach out to people as much as possible. And I want them to learn about the situation in Lebanon. I want them to learn more about Lebanese people and their culture. I think a lot of people don't know about Lebanon. It makes me kind of sad. I mean, as a country, of course, we have our negatives and positives. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, and I want to share what you guys might expect if you ever want to visit there. So, yeah, if you want to see more of my new videos, please subscribe. I made a new Instagram just for this channel. I know I have another Instagram, but I'm aware that people don't want to see my drawings and blah, blah, blah. I totally get that. Art is not everyone's cup of tea. I'm an artist, that's why I love art. But if you want to follow me, in another Instagram that is just mainly for this channel, I'm gonna post more about the country and myself and my life and about the culture and Lebanese people. If you want to follow me on my Instagram and my new Instagram account, please go to this Instagram account. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.